Hi, welcome back to Rohrich Knows Podcast, Best. And today we are with one of the best physicians and plastic surgeons in the world, and we're going to talk about AI. We are going to learn how to know it and embrace it. So, Dr. Robbie Pearl, how are you? He's an amazing plastic surgeon. He was the head of Kaiser Permanente for 18 years, and now he teaches at Stanford, both in the business school as well as in the medical school. He's a world leader, and he travels around the world, and he's got this new book, which is a #1 Amazon book, and all the profits from it go to Doctors Without Borders, and it's called ChatGPT MD, How AI Empowered Patients and Doctors Can Take Back Control of Medicine. So why did you write this book, Robbie?
I wrote this book because in my leadership roles, I've struggled to figure out how we can move medicine forward. It's a 19th century cottage industry, Rod.
Right.
It's fragmented. Clinicians spread across the community, unconnected with each other, unconnected with the hospital. It's paid on a piecemeal basis. We call it fee for service. The more you do, the more you get paid, even if it doesn't do any good for the patient.
Right, and we're treating problems, not patients, or preventing them.
Exactly right. And the technology that we use, it's left over from the last century. No, it's left over from the one before. 1834, the fax machine. I tell the students at the Stanford Business School, the doctors communicate vital information with a fax machine, and you know what they say? What's a fax machine? They've never seen one of these. Yeah, the system was broken. And then I wrote a book on the culture of medicine.
Right.
But we never had the tool.
I know.
To be able to make that difference happen. And all of a sudden, OpenAI releases ChatGPT November 2022.
Yep.
And I said, this is a tool. Now, I follow technology closely, but I don't necessarily promote all of it. I've been a skeptic of the old types of AI for a lot of different reasons. And now we had a tool that could provide to the patient expertise, not just knowledge. I said, we finally have something that will actually work and make the changes that are necessary. But I realized if I waited, this technology is doubling in power every year. If I waited a year, everything I wrote would be outdated.
I know.
So I decided to write the book with ChatGPT. Not by ChatGPT, just the way you publish your 700 or 1,000 different articles with a resident or with a fellow.
Yeah, you did it with
ChatGPT. 30 back and forths, writing drafts, coming up with references. I fact-checked, by the way, everything it said, 40-page bibliography. I found one major problem. It hallucinated an expedition to the North Pole that I can't find. If any of your viewers and listeners can identify it, please tell me so I can apologize to ChatGPT.
But, you know, it's great. It's not error-free, but it learns with you. I mean, I think that's so amazing about it. I always tell my fellows that, you know, you've got to embrace it. And when it makes an error, you say, no, this is what you should do. And it immediately pumps up and says, yes, and here are the 7 references. It's pretty amazing. So how do we embrace AI today to help our patients be better? I mean, I think people are afraid of it. I mean, and you know, we've been told by leaders like Elon Musk and others to say that maybe we should not go so fast. So how do we embrace it positively?
I think we have to start with, how are we doing today as a medical profession? Not specific to plastic surgery, but overall a medical profession. And my answer is, we're struggling.
Right.
400,000 deaths from misdiagnoses, 250,000 from preventable medical errors, almost 500,000 people from poorly controlled chronic disease. You know, if we were doing well as a profession, I'd say, no, why do it? So we have to start asking ourselves a different question, not seeing it as a threat, but as an opportunity, which is, how can we use this tool to be able to address those problems? There's an article I wrote for Forbes last week where I talked about medical school. How do we train the next generation? Now, you may find this interesting. The first thing I said is we got to train the faculty, because a lot of them don't know how to use the tool.
Oh, that's totally right on.
I think every dean should require a week of mandatory training before the white coat ceremony that's about to happen come August for your daughter and for all of her friends.
Right.
All right. Then with the faculty there, I think we have to recognize this is not a technology you figure out how to use. This is a technology you understand how you solve a different set of problems. So what are they? The problems of American medicine. This is where, your daughter may be the world's best at using the technology, but she doesn't know the medical system.
Right.
So you take an example. You say, okay, I see a patient, and I'm going to use an example out of plastic surgery because it's a lot easier, with hypertension.
Right.
What do we do today? We say your blood pressure is elevated. Here's a medication. I'll see you in 4 months. They come back in 4 months. The blood pressure is still elevated. What do you say? White coat syndrome. Here we are. That's the reason why we control it only 60% of the time. So here, what do we do instead? You ask the students to say, okay, patient comes in with hypertension. Let's do a traditional analysis. What is important about the history, the physical exam?
Right.
What else could it be? You want to be thinking about something to do with the renal function or something to do with a family history, something to do with potential stroke. How high is it? These are the things they figure out. Okay, now have generative AI answer the same question. And now you compare the two, and now I want you to come up with an approach to better manage that blood pressure in 1 month. And you go to wearable devices, monitors that can tell you the blood pressure, or blood pressure cuffs. And now you're starting to change medication at 1 month, but that requires changing practice. This is the evolution, and this is where I think that we have to understand, we're not going to teach the next generation as we had in the past.
Yep, they're going to teach
We're going
us.
to learn with them.
That's right. That's right. And you're so right. Teaching medical school and faculty is going to be a big challenge because, medicine's very set in their ways. I mean, believe me, you and I both have been part of huge medical systems, which are great, but they very, very reserved on change. Change is like a bad word, and yet change is what energizes all of us in AI. I mean, it's amazing. So I agree. And so where do you see it heading in the next 1 or 2 years as it's rolled out into medicine in a very positive way?
If I had come on this show 6 months ago, I would tell you we're 5 years away from it being a common tool used in medicine. I don't think it's true anymore. I think it's coming much faster than that. As you probably know, there's a lot of studies comparing the performance of the generative AI tool against clinicians.
I know.
And what they're showing is that the tools are equally good right now. Again, think about if it's doubling in power, what are they going to be like?
Better.
Now, you look at that, you say, oh my gosh, I'm afraid. No, don't be afraid.
No.
Say, how do I use that? I mean, an MRI or a CT is better at making a diagnosis than a physical exam. We didn't reject the MRI and the CT. We figured out how do we use it to improve outcomes for our patients. This, to me, is the big opportunity we have now. And this is a momentous time. I'm not sure, maybe the printing press back in the 15th century is the last time this expansion and explosion happened.
But I totally agree.
Now we have to do
we
something.
shouldn't neglect the basic principles of the physical exam, should we not? We should not. We should just teach that, I hope, right?
We should do the things we did before, but
Enhance them with AI.
enhance them with AI and understand where those tools now fall down. Because you have to do a physical exam because the MRI and the CT is going to come up with a lot of findings that don't make any sense. But memorization. Tell me about the Krebs cycle, Rod.
Right.
How many days did you remember what that was?
I know.
All the biochemical processes that exist. There are things that we need to know. The key skill for doctors for 5,000 years was memory.
Right.
Our ability to retain 10,000 facts. What do we test people on? Some parasite coming out of the Nile River. Why is that? Because everyone's going to get the common diseases, right?
Right.
So that is what we emphasize. Those were the great residents. No. The question is going to be, this is going to be the big change, Rod. It's not going to be what do we tell the patient. Right now, that's how we judge ourselves. Did we tell them the right thing? No. Did the patient do the right thing? That outcome measure,
Awesome.
not the process measure, the outcome measure, and we should be prepared for that, willing to be transparent on data, and then ask ourselves together, how do we achieve those best results?
Wow. All I can say is wow. Dr. Pearl, AI, the future of medicine transformed. That's helping all of us be a better us and to help our patients become better outcomes, and totally change medicine. So don't miss this amazing podcast with Dr. Pearl, a world leader in not only AI, but in futuristic thinking. So till next time, stay safe, stay informed, and above all, think about how AI can help you be a better you.